TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations.
Shalom ve'erev tov, good evening. Welcome to our daily TV7 Israel News Bulletin, broadcast from Jerusalem. 2 IDF soldiers were killed and 4 others sustained critical injuries in an IED explosion attributed to the Iranian proxy Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, drawing Israeli retaliatory strikes. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps Commander-in-Chief Ahmad Vahidi asserts that as long as the United States and Israel possess nuclear weapons, Iran will continue working on its own nuclear weapons program. And U.S. President Donald Trump stresses his hope for a negotiated solution to the Iran conflict. 2 IDF troops were killed and 4 others sustained severe injuries by Hezbollah IED in southern Lebanon. The deadly attack took place in the village of Majd al-Zaun when an IDF force of the 55th Paratroopers' Reservists Brigade entered a civilian residential building as part of operational engineering work in the area. Upon entry, the Iranian proxy Hezbollah was said to detonate an improvised explosive device, or IED, devastating the structure. Regrettably, Major in Reserve Harel Birenstok, a 34-year-old resident of Nokdim, who served as a company commander, and Chief Master Sergeant in Reserve Tamir Vaknin, a 33-year-old resident of Eilat, were killed in the attack, while 4 additional soldiers who were present in the structure were rushed to hospital in critical condition. Consequently, the IDF launched retaliatory strikes against the Iranian proxy Hezbollah targets in a number of locations throughout southern Lebanon, to include command and control posts and arms depots, among other targets. Israeli officials said the retaliation for Hezbollah's ceasefire violation was not over and that other options were currently under review, including sensitive operations that would be submitted to government officials for approval. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Netanyahu, who addressed a reinterment ceremony for the remains of the grandparents of the so-called father of modern political Zionism, namely Benjamin Zev Herzl, relayed the government's embrace to the bereaved families and a speedy recovery for the wounded, doing so in general terms, since at the time of his speech, the heart-wrenching news was not yet cleared for publication.
We are, of course, in the midst of both military and diplomatic events, and we send our embrace to our heroic fighters, to the families of the fallen, and to our wounded in body and soul, who are heroes as well.
Prime Minister Netanyahu went on to proclaim Israel's unbreakable will against those who seek to eradicate the nation-state of the Jewish people.
Throughout the War of Redemption, I emphasize that the State of Israel represents an unbreakable will. The fateful decisions we made in the face of all the pressures from without and within, and the fighting spirit of our heroic soldiers and commanders, have granted us tremendous achievements on the fronts of the campaign. Herzl spoke of the descendants of the Maccabees who would come to life. And indeed, the spirit of the Maccabees resonates within the young generation, the generation of victory, who stand ready to strike down those who seek our harm and to ensure the security of the homeland.
Netanyahu continued by insisting that while divisive rhetoric continues to plague the public sphere in Israel amid a highly contentious election season, Israel's soldiers, regardless of their background, are united in confronting any and all dangers threatening the state of Israel.
Today I was at the IDF Induction Center, and I met soldiers who are enlisting, coming from all parts of the country, from the city, from the village, religious, secular, everyone, Jews and non-Jews. And I saw how they are united in the mission. Not because they do not have different opinions on many things, but regarding the main issues, they understand that our state, the state of the Jews that grants equality and rights to non-Jews, the only state in the region that does this, that the Jewish state is under attack, that we are fighting here for the nation state of the Jewish people. And we understood many things after October 7th. Whoever did not understand, we have united on many issues. We will not establish here a Palestinian terror state that we know full well is aimed at destroying the Jewish nation state. We understand that they want to destroy us because we promote values of progress, democracy, freedom, and liberty, which are hated by those barbarians who seek to annihilate us.
The Israeli Prime Minister further responded to remarks made by Ahmad Vahidi about the IRGC's intentions to continue developing nuclear weapons. A statement made by the IRGC's Commander-in-Chief in Tehran, he said, quote, "As long as the United States and Israel possess nuclear weapons, we will continue working on them for our national security. If they disarm, we will disarm."
We heard today the commander of the IRGC, Vahidi, explicitly declaring Iran's intention to keep developing nuclear weapons, to continue, as he put it. Well, as Prime Minister of Israel, I too am determined to continue preventing Iran from possessing nuclear weapons. And I wish to clarify, President Trump is the greatest of our friends, the greatest of the friends we have had in the White House. And the United States is our great ally. And everyone understands also that we deeply appreciate the joint efforts, ours and those of the United States, against Iran's nuclear ambitions. I wish to clarify also that Israel's existence is not open to negotiation. With an agreement or without an agreement, I am determined, we are all determined, to do everything necessary to ensure our security and our future. Israel is a strong nation-state, proud of its identity, confident in the righteousness of its path.
Meanwhile, in the U.S. city of Las Vegas, U.S. President Donald Trump delivered remarks to his supporters, during the course of which he highlighted his hope for a negotiated solution with the Ayatollah regime in Iran.
I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to kill people. I do not want to kill people. But at some point, we were set for the biggest attack of any attack, and we've hit them very hard for the last few months. But we were all set for the biggest attack since World War II. And they called me and they said, "Please don't do it. Let's talk." And then they said, "We never said that." You know what? The fake news knows they did say that. But we are talking. Let's see what happens. But they respect us. They respect us. It's been 47 years, but really it's been 50 years because they've been saying 47 for 3 years. It's been 50 years. And no other president has done what you should have done a long time ago, because Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Can't have it.
Meanwhile, in an exclusive interview to Fox News, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance sought to explain the complex situation vis-a-vis negotiations with the Islamic Republic of Iran.
I can certainly understand the American people are maybe looking at this and they say, well, it seems like we're making progress and then it seems like we're not. Well, the reality, Laura, is that number one, the Iranians are extraordinarily difficult people. Number two, they have a fractured system. So there are people within their system who want the war to be over. There are also people within their system who are crazy radicals who want the war to continue. Our job is to navigate through that and get the best outcome for the American people, but for the President of the United States as well. And I do think that where we will ultimately land, it's going to be messy and it's going to take some time to get there. Where we will ultimately land, as you see, oil, I think, was at $79 today. Those oil prices are going to come down and stay down. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, and the United States will be in a stronger position. But we're kind of in the middle of the game, and I think people are trying to prejudge exactly how this is going to go.
Meanwhile, in Tehran, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, who previously claimed to have met with the Ayatollah regime's supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, in an interview with regime-controlled media, Pezeshkian now asserts that communications with the supreme leader, who is supposedly hiding in an undisclosed location, are very difficult.
Our new leader was elected again. It is very difficult to communicate with him now, but in any case, his being there is a very strong point of strength for us, enabling us to continue the process.
It is important to note that there are varying speculations on whether Ayatollah Mujtaba Khamenei is in fact alive, with the IRGC failing to provide any proof of life, since the Islamic Republic's supreme leader sustained critical wounds during the opening U.S.-Israeli attack on February the 28th that eliminated his father, Ali Khamenei. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News, which is made possible by the generosity of our viewers. If you're blessed by our productions and would like to help support TV7 Israel, which operates as a non-profit, you can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Please keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Essen wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.